Breaking news. Just 16 days after winning their first major trophy in 17 years, Tottenham have sacked their manager, Ange Postecoglu. Yes, Ange Postecoglu has been sacked by Tottenham just 16 days after winning the Europa League trophy, which they beat Man United over in Bilbao 1-0. And yeah, Ange has lost his job. Although I've got to say, it's not a totally uncommon occurrence for managers to be sacked shortly after winning a trophy. I mean, let's be honest, Ange Postecoglu is in some pretty illustrious company when it comes to this type of thing. I mean, you may remember Roberto Di Matteo of Chelsea back in 2012. He led Chelsea to a Champions League title as well as the FA Cup. And he was sacked a few months later in November. Louis van Gaal, Man United, 2016. He led Man United to an FA Cup, sacked just 2 days later. Vicente Del Bosque, Real Madrid, 2003. Won a Champions League, won a La Liga, got sacked shortly after. Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid. Won the Copa del Rey, Champions League in his first season with Real Madrid, got sacked the season after. Claudio Ranieri, remember him? That was a particularly shocking one. Led Leicester to an unprecedented title in 2015-2016. Following season, just 9 months later, sacked after 9 months. So, you know, it's not unusual. And these kind of things kind of highlight how ruthless it is at the top. And let's be honest, man. I mean, yes, Spurs won a trophy, their first, as I said, in 17 years. However, their league form in the Premier League this season, or the season just gone, has been absolutely disastrous. Losing 22 of 38 games. I mean, let's be honest, in any other season, that would have got them relegated. So, you know, you've got to take that into account. I guess if you're Ange Postecoglu and you're pleading mitigation, you will point to the fact that Spurs did have a high number of injuries to key players throughout the season. But, you know, at the end of the day, people don't really remember that. That won't be an asterisk against Spurs' last league season. They will just be seen as a very poor indicator of their form. I mean, to lose 22 games out of 38 for a club like Spurs is unsustainable. And yeah, I would imagine that the hierarchy at Spurs probably consider that despite that really good win in the Europa League, you can't ignore that type of form in the Premier League. It's just not going anywhere. And they probably thought that Ange, I mean, it's his second season. To be fair to him, he finished fifth in his first season. But they're probably looking at that and think it's a downward trajectory in terms of the league form, and they had to address it. So, you know, I can see it from both ends of the spectrum. I mean, for Ange, I mean, he will leave Tottenham with his head held relatively high. I mean, like I said, he delivered Spurs a trophy, their first in 17 years. That was a holy grail for them. He brought them the trophy. He delivered on the statement that he made famously during the season when he said he always wins a trophy in his second season. So he can leave knowing that he did that. So he'll have that on his CV. And then Tottenham, like I said, they will look to pastures new. They will need to bring in somebody that can get them back on track in terms of their league form. I mean, already some names have already been linked with a job. Thomas Frank has been linked with that job. Also, Marco Silva has been linked with that job. Both very good young managers. And without being disrespectful, I would say both of those are an upgrade on Ange. So, you know, I think it's probably the best for both parties. I mean, Ange, let's face it, he will get another job somewhere. It's unlikely, I would have thought, that he'll get a Premier League job anytime soon. But I could see him getting a job in Europe, if not across the world, maybe in Saudi, maybe in Australia, America, somewhere. I mean, he has won things in his career. So, you know, if you're, looking at a new manager, someone like Ange might fit the bill. But I do think that it's probably mutually beneficial for both parties. I mean, I must admit, when I was collecting my thoughts on this, and this was before Ange was sacked, I was thinking to myself, why wouldn't Ange just leave on a high, knowing that you've done what you've done, you've delivered them a trophy, you can thumb your nose to the critics, to all the people who had a go at him. But then, of course, you've got to take into account the financial aspect. If he did decide to leave of his own volition, then he would no doubt give up some of the lucrative financial package that will come his way now that Spurs have terminated his contract. So it does make sense. But yeah, I mean, Ange, you know, at the end of the day, mate, he did deliver a trophy, but also you cannot ignore what was a disastrous league campaign that saw them lose 22 games out of 38. I think it was their worst ever showing in the Premier League. And like I said earlier, I just don't think that type of thing is sustainable. So whilst the news may have come as a surprise, I don't think anyone is really shocked. I understand that Ange is or was on holiday, and this decision was being deliberated upon for some time by the Tottenham hierarchy, and that they were going to announce a decision when he was back off holiday. So I can only imagine that he's come back off holiday only to be told that thanks, but no thanks, and we won't be renewing your contract, or you won't be taking up your position as Tottenham manager come August this year. But anyway, just some quick breaking news. Tottenham have sacked Ange as Postecoglu. As I said, it's a surprise, but it's by no means a shock. A lot of people saw this coming. Quick bit of breaking news. Thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you're all well. Have a great weekend. Catch you on the next one. I'm out.